12 News Eye on Agriculture with Britton Rucker.
President Trump wants China to buy 4 times more U.S. soybeans than it's already moving markets. But is this a game changer or just wishful thinking? Plus, the Kansas State Fair is almost here, and 4-H is ready to steal the show. From blue ribbon projects to hands-on fun, we're getting a sneak peek and how to gear up for the next 4-H year coming up. Good evening and welcome into Eye on Agriculture. I'm Britton Rucker. The southern rust is making its way across the Midwest, and it's already been confirmed here in Kansas. The fast-moving corn disease is now present in at least 18 states, including Illinois, Nebraska, Missouri, and Minnesota, with Iowa reporting its worst outbreak on record. Experts say southern rust thrives in warm, wet conditions, and this year it's showing up earlier than usual at the start of grain fill. Kansas farmers still have a window to treat with fungicides. After the corn reaches the dent stage, it'll be too late for treatment. Also, southern rust spores can travel for miles, and favorable weather can quickly make the disease spread. So farmers should scout their fields right now to protect their yield potential. President Trump urging China to dramatically increase its U.S. soybean purchases by 4 times. In a late-night Truth Social post this week, Trump said China was worried about a shortage, and he'd hoped they would quickly quadruple orders, promising rapid service. The comment pushed Chicago soybean futures up more than 2% Monday morning, but analysts call the move highly unlikely, since China already sources most of its soybeans from Brazil. Last year, China bought just over 22 million tons from the U.S., compared with Brazil nearly 75 million. The tariff truce between Washington and Beijing was extended another 90 days, now set to run through November 10th. The White House is delaying the public release of policy recommendations tied to the Make America Healthy Again initiative, originally set for Tuesday this week. The report, focused on children's health and chronic disease, has drawn concern from farmers and more than 300 ag groups, especially over its mention of certain herbicides and insecticides as potential health risk. Now, the National Corn Growers Association warns losing those crop protection tools could cut yields by more than 70%. The White House says recommendations will still be delivered to the president on time, but the public announcement will wait until schedules with the president and the cabinet align. The National FFA Association and organization breaking records again. Membership has now climbed to just over 1 million students nationwide for a second year in a row, with Texas leading at nearly 182,000 members, California just behind, following with 108,000. The total marks a 1.5% jump from last year, spread across more than 9,000 local chapters. Leaders say the growing reflects rising interest in agricultural education, leadership, and the more than 350 career paths in agriculture. The FFA Alumni Network also expanding, now topping 802,000 members nationwide. This milestone comes just ahead of the 98th National FFA Convention and Expo in Indianapolis at the end of October, where attendance is expected to surpass last year's 70,000 participants. The USDA's Farm Service Agency rolling out some changes to improve service for Kansas wheat producers. The agency has streamlined certain loan programs, cutting farm shortage loan processing times by more than half and freeing up county offices to focus on core services. Rural staffing shortages remain a challenge, but internal restructuring and new technology helping maintain in-person support. FSA is also expanding mobile-friendly tools and integrating with precision agriculture platforms to meet the needs of a younger generation of farmers. Producers are encouraged to explore underused programs that could provide critical support in a tight farm economy. The Kansas Livestock Association and Kansas State University will host a ranch management field day August 21st at Larson Ranch near Leota. The event will cover the future of yield grading, with Texas Tech researchers presenting new ways to better predict red meat yield in cattle. You will also take part in a ranch tour before enjoying a free beef dinner. Registration starts at 3:30 p.m. You can find more details on our Eye on Ag section on our website, kwch.com, or our 12 News app. Voting is closing soon for the Cattle Feeders Hall of Fame. Industry members have until August 31st to select next year's inductees. This year's Kansas nominees include the late Glenn Mole and Bob Foote, both longtime cattle feeders and industry leaders. Also nominated, the late Greg Henderson for the Industry Leadership Award, recognizing his nearly 40 years of reporting on the beef business. Now, the Hall of Fame honors individuals who made a lasting contribution to cattle feeding. Still ahead on Eye on Agriculture, a farmers market that offers shoppers a chance to pay what they can. We show you the growing concept connecting people to fresh produce.